And you're waking up with Dr. Dan here on westbramaradio.com.au, streaming live on the app and also on Amazon Alexa and Google Smart Home speakers.
Yes.
Welcome back, Dan.
Oh, look, I've just been out there doing some push-ups. How are you there, Harold?
We got Harold on the line.
Not bad for an old bloke.
Mate, you're in Ballarat, which is probably
Freezing.
cold. Yeah.
Freezing.
Well, it was 0.5 here this morning. We arrived at 4 o'clock this morning in the main street of Ipswich opposite Fourth Child. Now, you're going to tell us, so what's Ballarat? Like, you met a few Victorians. You can't tell a Victorian much, can you?
No, can't. Something, but you can't tell them much.
Now,
But, it's just cold. It's freezing.
yeah, now
It's a weather that you should never complain about the weather, Danny.
Oh, no, that's why they all stink and move here. But anyhow, let's talk about this Ipswich minister of religion who came here for the weather and the weather took him out. Tell us that story and why you're in Ballarat.
Yeah, and that's why I say don't complain about the weather, either hot or cold, because the Reverend Joseph Walker, he was a congregational minister back in the 19th century and probably should have complained about the weather more than most. And some of our listeners might actually recognise his name, Reverend Joseph Walker, because they've seen it on the plaque in the Congregational Church here in Ipswich right now. Anyway, he preached in Ballarat in Victoria from 1873 and became president of that colony's Congregational Union. I came to Ballarat this week to see the old Congregational Church that was built in 1881. And I can confirm that the foundation stone, just like the plaque in Ipswich, which is, over 1,600 kilometres north, also bears the name of Ipswich's Reverend Walker. And it's literally an irrevocable connection between the two cities etched in stone.
Wow.
Anyway, you see, what happened for Reverend Walker was that the cold weather in Ballarat got the better of him. And so in 1884, he and his family moved to Ipswich. He preached at the Ipswich Central Congregational Church and was twice elected president of the Congregational Union of Queensland. Two of Reverend Walker's sons founded the well-known Ipswich firm of lawyers, Walker and Walker.
Walker and Walker?
One of them, they were Walkers together, and one of them, Samuel Walker, married the granddaughter of William Crush Dalby, who was a well-known early 19th century sea captain and New Zealand politician. The other lawyer's son, James Walker, he represented Ipswich in the Queensland Legislative Assembly and was a co-founder of the Ipswich Woolen Company. And his partner there was Ipswich's Dr. Edward Brown, whose son set a world record for flying between England and Australia and was killed by a poisoned banana in Pakistan. Now, even though
a poisoned banana
Reverend Walker,
would have in his pants.
oh, that'll get you every time. You've got to be careful. But the Reverend Walker, he left Ballarat to get away from the cold weather, of course. It's warmer weather in Ipswich. That is what actually got him and his family in the end. You see, the oldest son, Edwin Walker, went to Scotland to study medicine at the University of Edinburgh. But he was so used to Queensland's warmer weather that the weather in Scotland affected him badly, and he continually caught really bad colds, and he came home. Now, once back in Ipswich, he was treated by Ipswich's Dr. Lightoller. Now, incidentally, that doctor's daughter is the ghost of Dover Court at Toowong in Brisbane. Anyway, Edwin caught so many colds that he died from acute pleurisy. So the cold got him. And as for the Reverend Walker himself, in 1905, he and Mrs. Walker were driving their horse and buggy at Anerley when they collided with the tram and were thrown from the buggy onto the road and really badly shaken up.
Wow.
But that didn't kill him.
No.
It was weeks later, when he was still not fully recovered, that Reverend Walker suffered a serious bout of a tropical disease, dengue fever.
Oh, no.
And that killed him. Yes. And today he's buried in the Ipswich Cemetery. So, Danny, I don't want you here, complaining about the cold just because it feels like -1 in Ipswich today, in Ballarat just the same. That's because Ipswich's Reverend Walker escaped the cold in Ballarat, only to die of a tropical disease here in Ipswich. And his son did it in reverse. He went from Ipswich to the cold of Scotland and died of a really bad cold.
That's
So just enjoy whatever we got.
Oh, we should. And by the way, it's 7.1 degrees down there in Ballarat at this moment, apparently.
No, well, it feels like it's a lot lower. But anyway, but it's colder in Ipswich.
It's cold.
That's always a claim to fame.
It's gloomy, isn't it? But the thing it is down there, it's gloomy. You see it sometimes on the TV and you go, God, it's gloomy. You know, like we're
It's
so
rainy,
lucky.
it's grey.
We're so lucky. aren't
We're so lucky, yeah.
We really are.
Wouldn't live anywhere else. South East
No,
Queensland.
well, we
beautiful.
were born here. Were you born here, Harold H?
Absolutely. Born and bred on the Gold Coast and the South East Queensland. I wouldn't live anywhere
Where'd
else.
you go to school?
I went to TSS.
Oh, of course.
Yes, the
And
Southport
Damien went to
School.
Villa, and I went to St Lawrence's. All cattle ticks. Oh, no, you're not a cattle tick.
No, I'm not Catholic. We're Anglican school.
Anglican,
Southport
yeah,
School.
you're at an angle. Mate, now, you got all these stories about Ipswich on your website or your Facebook post. What is your Facebook?
Yeah, now before I tell you about that, I have to shout out to two of our listeners,
Yes.
Graham and Judy, who are in Muddy Creek in Victoria. Now, they listen every week, and this weekend is Judy's 80th birthday.
Oh,
So
Judy.
happy birthday, Judy.
Happy birthday, Judy. And all the things that were said about Victorians, that's Harold's fault, not mine.
Yeah, that's right.
No, we love the Victorians. We just have trouble with your game. We have a point for missing. We can't get that. But anyhow, Judy, happy 80th birthday. I'm glad you enjoyed the segment and the program. Harold talks facts, and he is the best researcher of stories. He's a storyteller. Not many left, you know, Harold.
Yeah, I am. And there's heaps of stories on my website, historyouthere.com. And actually, go to historyouthere.com and you'll see the link to my Torres Strait Hike for Health. That's next month. I'm raising money for charity. I'm walking around the islands up in the Torres Strait. So go to historyouthere.com, read all these Ipswich stories, and if you want, donate to Drug Arm.
Drug Arm, and get on there and give us a ark, and flap your arms around, and we'll enjoy it on the Facebook, historyouthere.com. Thanks a lot, Harold. It's really good you having me on the program. Thanks for your time when you're down there researching in Ballarat. And it's now 8:21 on West Bremer Radio.